Hi everybody, I'm going to show you how to make this really cool bowling ball right here, just using a couple of gradient blends. It's pretty easy, easier than you might think, so don't freak out. As you can see, as I put my mouse over this, I just have a series of paths. That's really all it is. And then we're going to use a gradient mesh to get this cool effect of a reflection off the bowling ball. Alright, so I'm going to take this guy and move him over here, and actually what I might do is just shrink him down. He'll be there for, if we want to take a look at it later. Okay, so first thing what you need to have is some decent colors set up. I made this one blue. I'll make the next one maybe this series of red to oranges right in here. That looks kind of cool. So let's get started. First things first is you use your shape tool and you make it on ellipse and hold down the shift button so you have a nice big solid color. Oh, and I'm cheating because look, I've already have my gradient selected. Haha. So let's delete that. And let me go to my gradient here just to make sure you guys know I'm not cheating or anything. I'll goof up my, there we go. Alright. So there is going to be Mr. Bowling Ball. Let me make him a little bit bigger. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we want to get rid of the stroke. So the stroke here is going to be nothing. Pow, there he goes. Then we're going to make it into a gradient. And we want to use just the, well, we're going to use the default gradient, but this works as well. Your default gradient is probably going to look black and white. And then we're going to make this linear into a radial. Just like that. And then we're going to pick our colors. I said I was going to use red. So I'm going to take my red and bring it down to here. And then I'll pick like this orangey color and bring it to here. This is called gradient blending. I'm blending colors together. Pretty easy. Okay. So there I've got, actually I'm going to make that even brighter. There we go. That's nice. Alright. Now I'm going to take my tool here and I want it to go up to the place. I want it to rotate around. There. See how my mouse changes? The cursor changes? I'm bringing that down this way. And what I want to do is get this to come almost all the way to the bottom, but not quite. And then move this up here. And I don't want to come all the way to the edge. That's important, and I'll explain why later. But see, I'm making this kind of pinch up like this. Get that guy a little bit even. He's a little bit cockeyed. There we go. Okay. So I have it kind of I have the gradient level kind of pinched upward. And again, all I did to do that, let me get them selected first. Go to my gradient tool, and I just made it go up and down, and then I slid this bar up. And I can make it more or less orange at the top. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. You really do want it to be more or less right in the dead center like that. Okay, now that that is finished, what I'm going to work on is cutting out the reflective piece with my pen tool. That would be this piece right here, this little dark blue shape looking thing. Okay, now what I want to do for that is I'm going to make like this Batman kind of symbol with my pen tool. So I'll select maybe like right there, and then come down here and click and drag. And now this is the important part that people always screw up on. You want to hold down your option button, because look what my handle's doing. It's changing it to convert anchor point. That way I can move things up here, and I can make this really cool shape that way. Now I'm going to change a lot of these later, so don't worry about getting it exact. Oh, look what happens. Oh, look what I did. I did not use my convert anchor point to tell my handle where to go. So it said, hey, stupid, I want to go whichever way I want to. I'll kind of move that in there. Convert anchor point over here. And then I'll complete my path by clicking on the first anchor, but I'm going to bend it down quite a bit. There. Okay, now I can go back to my direct select tool and I can start playing with these things. If you notice, what I did is I'm trying to follow the natural shape of where the curve of the bowling ball would be. So I'll move my guy over here. Don't worry about the color just yet. I can click on my anchor, move him closer to the edge, take this guy, move him down a little bit more so I get an actual decent looking curve. There, that looks pretty good. I'm going to do the same thing with this. Now notice, wow, look at that green bar that shows up. That's so helpful. It lets me know I'm lined up with this guy here. Move this guy out to like that, which means I'm going to move this guy to about the same place. Well, maybe not. I'll do it like that and like that. That makes it look pretty even. Move this anchor in just a little bit. There. Then I've got this handle. Move him down some. And then I've got this. Whoa, this handle's going kind of crazy. Let's put him right about there. So I'm going to put this handle on the same spot over here. And you can see that's too deep. So I'm going to move him up, which means I got to move him up. That looks pretty good. But now the color obviously is an issue. You can tell the color is an issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a color that's just a little bit darker than maybe this red that I chose to start with, like that. So it's very, very important that you have your colors selected ahead of time. That's kind of going along with that whole idea of having the cooler colors from before. Okay, now we're going to go back to this shape, and I'm going to cut a little oval out. I want them to be white though, and I want it to have no stroke. And I want to probably get him pretty close up to where these colors blend, just to make it look right. Yeah, that looks pretty good like that. Okay, now with this guy selected, this is another part of gradient blending that I'm going to show you. I want it to be a blend, so a gradient rather, sorry. So I'm going to click on that so it becomes a gradient. However, I want it to be a linear gradient, like that. Now, left to right makes no sense. I want up and down. I want up and down. And here's the key. I really want, oops, there we go. We're going to make this darker part. Where's my rotate? There you are. I'm going to rotate it around. I'm going to move them up there. Do that kind of a thing. Okay. Now I select on this guy Look what happens when I move my opacity down to nothing. Ooh, pretty cool, huh? So what I've done is I've kind of created a lighter reflective surface off of this. And I can change it up some by moving this gradient down. But if you move it almost all the way out, it looks the most natural. And this guy is still a little bit cockeyed. Word to the wise, if you hold down the shift button, it forces it to go to 45 90-degree angles. So that's just a little hint for you. Alright, so now I've got him done. Alright, he's looking pretty good so far. Now I'm going to do another gradient blend. I know your favorite thing in the world to do. By having my main piece selected. Okay, so this main outer circle is selected. And I'm going to move this guy over just a little bit. And I want a reflective third color to be just on the outside of this. So I'm going to select this color and just going to drop them in right there. Now obviously that's a little bit much. That's too much. So I'm going to change them. Yeah. Dislike. Do not like. Do not like. There we go. That's a little bit better. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still kind of messing with this a little bit. I have to decide what I like about it and what I'm going to change. Maybe if I move this guy down here and this guy up here, what would that do? Nope. I'm going to run with this and see what it looks like. I'm going to move him down just a little bit. Okay. Now we're going to get a shadow on the bottom. Shadows on the bottom, pretty easy. We're going to pick solid color, but we want black, but we want it to be about 40%. And we're just going to draw an oval. That kind of gives you an idea of what it's going to look like. But what we're really going to do is do a gradient on it. And instead of this orange color, you double click on the orange color, you can go to color picker pretty quick. It's just an easier way of doing it. And then you're going to turn this into a radial. Stretch it out to almost the edge, not quite the edge. But then you have this cool circle that pops up. Watch what happens when I grab this guy and scrunch him down. Ta-da! Makes a really easy little gradient. Now one last thing, obviously I got to take this guy and put him in the back. So I'm going to go to Arrange, Send to Back. There. So now he's got a shadow. Okay. One of our last things we need are the finger holes. Obviously we need to find some finger holes, because otherwise, you know, how the heck are you going to throw it? So I'm going to show you what I did with this guy here. Whoa. Let's group you all together so you all stay put. There. Okay, what I did with him is I just made these two circles and overlapped them, really. And then I'm going to show you how you do this cool thing with a pathfinder. It's pretty easy, so just watch. I'm going to take this. Actually, you know what? I'm almost out of time. So, stop here, and we'll do Pathfinder another time. Make sure you save. Make sure you save. Make sure you save. Okay, that's it. Bye.